Have you ever been lonely? Have you ever complained to God after being lonely? Why are you lonely? This story is about the loneliness of a mother whose husband and child each left her alone in some way. A woman who buried her love and put her hope on the roads, but God did not leave her alone because she believed in God and prayer and secret and need with Him. If you also want to get out of loneliness, watch this video until the end and subscribe to our channel. In a small and beautiful village where people lived together in friendship, in a small house, lived a lonely old woman named Mary. She was very warm-hearted and treated everyone with kindness and good manners, and had a kind heart, but she no longer had the ability of her youth. Everyone who entered her house, even though she was old, she welcomed them well and people felt at ease in her house. Mary believed that wherever there was kindness and good behavior, God was also there. Because of this belief, she was kind to everyone and tried to increase her kindness every day. She had lost her husband when she was young. He and his wife had a son named Tom. The couple loved each other very much and lived together in their small house, helping each other with their work. His wife was also very kind and worked very hard for their comfort. They worked together in the field and returned home together and prayed together after dinner and before going to bed. They thanked God for their many blessings and their children and their health. They were not rich. Their wealth was their kindness and love. One day, Mary's husband fell ill, and his illness lasted for several months. Mary did not leave her husband alone during all these days of illness. She fed him and took care of him and prayed for his recovery. She asked God not to take her husband away from her so that she would not be lonely. But one morning, her husband did not wake up and left Mary and Tom forever, and they were alone. Their house had become very quiet. Mary cried a lot and asked God why a person in love would be lonely when their love died. Her pain was very deep. After a while, he became calmer with his prayers, as if his wife was in the house and he felt her presence. Mary was no longer weak, and her body and hands did not accompany her. But prayer was still inseparable from her life. Tom grew older and left the village and went to the city to make progress. She promised her mother that she would visit her often. At first, she would buy her mother a gift every time she came. Her mother would be happy to see her, but after several months, she stopped visiting her mother. Mary was used to being alone, eating alone, sleeping alone, and doing her chores alone. She was very sad and upset. Every morning he woke up at sunrise, lit his lamp, prayed, and thanked God for everything, but he never asked God to bring his son back to live with him. Because Tom's progress was not possible in the village and he had to live in the city, Mary also loved working in the garden. Every day she took care of her flowers and moved their soil. The children of the village also loved her very much and came to her. She gave them food and bread and talked to the children about God and prayer. Everyone wondered why this old woman was so kind to everyone and wanted to help everyone. Some neighbors asked him for permission to visit him, but he said he was not alone and felt God's presence. Even the animals understood his kindness. Birds would sit on the roof of his house and sing, or the village dogs and cats would come to him for food, and he would feed them. He believed that these animals needed love and that God had sent them. After a long time, Tom returned home and was sad to see his mother alone. He again asked her to go to the city with him, but she refused, saying that she liked the country better. Tom said to his mother, "Why are you taking so much trouble? Do you want people not to forget you? You need a rest." She replied to Tom that God put love in me to love people and animals. I am not alone. That night, a helpless traveler arrived in the village. All the villagers gave him the address of Mary's house so that he could give him food, and she kindly did so. The traveler prayed a lot for him and said, "I ask God to give you strength and love so that you can be more kind." Her son heard these words but did not understand them. Tom returned to the city. A few months later, Mary became so sick that she could not walk at all. Sometimes she felt very lonely, but she continued to pray. When the villagers heard this, they all went to help him. Everyone wanted to do something for him. The women brought him soup and medicine. The men were also praying for him and standing outside the house so that if he needed help, they could come inside immediately. The children were also worried about him and were praying for him. When he saw the people, he realized that his kindness had not disappeared. They had come to repay his kindness. When the news of his illness reached Tom, he returned to the village and was saddened when he saw his mother lying sick. But he felt relieved that the people were there to take care of her. He went to his mother and sat by her bed and cried. He said, "Your mother is never alone. May God not take away your kindness and love." Finally, Tom convinced his mother to go to the city with him. He said goodbye to the people of the village to go to the city with his son. A few days passed. Life in the city had made him lonelier. One day, Tom told her that he had to go somewhere with her and took her to an orphanage and told her that she could have fun with the children there. She realized that God had listened to her heart again. The next day, she went there. She played with the children and told them stories. Everyone called her Grandma. She lived in the orphanage for a few years, but she was no longer able to do so. One evening, she passed away. The children of the orphanage, the people, strangers, and the people of the village came to pay their respects. Tom also learned that his mother had never been alone. If you want to grow 1% every day, subscribe to our channel.